Hello everyone, this week we are growing sunflower seeds. In your delivery you will have 4 sunflower seeds, some soil, 4 egg cartons, and you will need 4 inner tubes, toilet roll inner tubes, a plate or a saucer and a pair of scissors. So we're going to start by trimming our egg carton, and we're going to cut them into their individual cartons and then trim them. As you can see, you'll have a little line in there, and we're going to cut it down to that line, just trimming off the edges. So you want it looking like that. So we'll do that to all 4 of them. And there we are, there's our 4. So we have our 4 just inners of our egg carton. So let's get rid of all of our rubbish, and we are now going to plant our seeds. What I need you to do first of all is we're going to put holes in the bottom of our cartons. Now this is for drainage, and so that when we put the soil in and then when we water it, we've got tiny little holes that are going to let the water out so it doesn't make it too soggy for our seeds, like that. There we are. So now we're going to take our soil. Now you're not going to need all of this at the beginning, because we need another big chunk of this later on once our little seedlings grow. So just with your hands, if you want to wear gloves, obviously wear gloves, and we're going to push the compost down into, right, make it nice and firm, down into our cartons. Try not to get too many big lumps in it. Doesn't matter later on, but at this point we don't want too many lumps and bumps in there with our seeds. And then we're going to do that with all 4 of them. You don't need to fill it right till the end, right to the top at the moment, because when you're watering, you don't want the water to run off the top. You want it to stay inside the carton. So there we are. So then we take our seeds. So you take your seed, and if you look at it like that, so it'll be upright, and then you push it down into the middle of your soil so that it looks like that, all the way down into the middle. Nice into the middle, and then we're going to cover it with a very light covering of compost, just so that it covers it and it sits in there nicely covered with the soil on top. Oops. And there you have your lovely seeds. And now what you need to do now is you need to water them, just nice and gently, not too much so that they fall over. You need to water them and then put them somewhere warm on a windowsill, somewhere where it's nice and sunny but it's lovely and warm. Not that there's a draft so that you open up the windows. It needs to be nice and sunny and nice and warm for them. And that should take around 21 days, and then you will start seeing tiny little shoots come through the middle of the egg cartons, and they are called seedlings. And the whole process is called germination. So germination is just when the seed is going into a plant. So we've now zipped forward 21 days, and we have been preparing them earlier. So hopefully all of them, if not all of them, you may get 1 or 2, because they don't always come through. But you will get a lovely little seedling come through. And we want to, because this little carton here is too small for it now, for its roots to really grow, we need to transfer it into our next home for our seedling. So this is where your toilet rolls come into great use. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to push your toilet roll completely flat onto the table, onto the work surface, and then squeeze along the edges so they're nice and firm. Then we are going to open it up, and where you can see you've got the lines there, we're going to push the lines into the middle like so, and then we're going to push the lines down again. So we want the creases. So what you're ending up with is you end up with 4 creases, which then turns our circle into a square. We're then going to cut about 1 inch along the creases, because now we're going to create our lovely little boxes. Now the joy of using the egg cartons and using the inner tubes is that they all decompose in the ground, so you haven't got to worry about having it in plastic or anything like that. So we then fold, and we fold that one in, and we work in a clockwise turn. So we do that one, then we do our next one, then we fold our next one, and then we fold our next one. And if you push it in, we turn it upside down, and there we have a little holder. So what we're now going to do, the compost that you would have been sent all those days ago, you then take your compost and you fill it, you fill your new home for your seedling. We push it down, not too firm, but we just push it down, and then we're ready to transfer it over to its new home. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm going to just break open the bottom just a little bit, so the roots, as we can see, the roots are starting to come through. The roots are nice and open, and we're going to place that into our toilet roll holder, and then just sprinkle a little bit more soil over the top like that, and there we go. And I found this plastic container that I'm putting it in. You can use anything. You can use like an old butter tub or anything that you find around the house just to hold it, something that will take a little bit of water, and then I will do that with my other 3, put it in, and then we'll water it. Now it's time to then let it grow just a little bit more, let it just take a little bit more, let its roots take just a little bit more, and then we are going to move it to the outside of the house. Now with this has to be a slow process, because your lovely sunflower has been used to your warm house, no drafts, no nothing, no cold, and we need to make sure that it doesn't shock it as soon as it goes outside. So we have to make sure there's no risks of any frost, because a frost will kill it straight away. So we have to make sure there's no frost, and then once there's no frost and the warmer weather is coming in, we then, a day at a time. Day 1 you move it outside, and then it stays outside all day, and then you bring it back in. Day 2 you do exactly the same. Put it out in the morning, bring it back in at night. You'll do that on day 3 as well, and then on day 4 you're ready to plant your sunflower. It's used to the outside because it's been getting used to it during the days, and it will be used to it okay. If there's no more frost, it will be absolutely fine at night. Now when you are planting your sunflower, you can put it either in quite a large pot, because if you've got to think how tall it grows, it's going to need enough room underneath for its roots to grow, or you plant it straight in the ground, because this will all just rot away. You can put that just like that in the ground or in your pot. Have fun. We have enclosed a My Sunflower grow chart, which will be great if you can fill this in. This is the day I planted my seeds, the day I saw my first shoot, the day I transferred my ceiling into its new home, and then you'll go through and you'll put the dates that you did your day 1, day 2, day 3 outside, and then the date I planted it in the ground, and then it would be absolutely wonderful if you could just keep track every once in a while. Maybe draw a lovely little picture of how your sunflower's growing, and then keep a track of how your sunflower has grown. It would be wonderful if some of them could grow just as tall as you. Keep us posted, have lots of fun and enjoy this wonderful thing.